Alright guys, welcome back. We are in chapter 2 of your A&P book, and we're talking about, we're going to talk about the different parts of the cell, or the organelles in them. Again, this one's going to go, again, this is part 2 of 4 here. So let's start out with the nucleus. Again, that's the most visible structure inside of a cell, usually contains the DNA or the controlling material that has the genetic code in it. And a cell without a nucleus, again, it will disintegrate within 3 to 4 months. So, again, it is required in order to have it. Let me say most cells usually have that. And, again, it contains the genetic instructions to allow for the determined cell structure and function. It's what tells it what to be. So your nucleus, again, is usually round and it's enclosed with a double layer of a nuclear envelope. And, again, it has an inner and outer layer. It's a lipid-based barrier. And has a protein lining that allows certain molecules to exit. These certain molecules are usually messenger RNA, so your RNA is what usually goes through those. The nucleoplasm is just the fluid that's inside it. Now there's a little mini nucleus called the nucleolus, again, and it's made of mostly RNA and protein. It's where it's essentially the storage area for your RNA to allow transmission out of the nucleus. And then the chromatin is, again, a loosely coiled DNA fibers that they will condense and be another part of the nucleus itself. Your cytoplasm, again, is that fluid that's inside the cell, or protoplasm, if you will. And it's which chemical reactions, that's where it occurs. It makes up most each cell's volume, and, again, it suspends all the organelles in there. So your organelles, again, centrioles, cilia, flagella. Again, they're usually internal structures. Your centrioles, again, they're the spindle apparatus that's essential for the cell division. The centrioles actually move to the top and the bottom of the nucleus when it's time to divide, and it splits them, and that's where the microtubules radiate to those centrioles. And so, again, it's very important in cell division, okay? Your cilia are the hair-like projections on the surface that allow for motion or movement within either in or out. Good examples of cells with a lot of cilia in it are the ones in your trachea and your bronchus. So again, that's what helps produce the lung butter. It collects it, gathers it, makes it big, and then you expel the lung butter. Yeah, that's it. You're hocking a loogie. There you go, folks. Your flagellum, it's a tail-like microtubular structure, and again, it helps propel the cell. Again, sperm cells are usually the biggest ones that when we think about a flagellum, that's what we're thinking. Your ribosomes, again, they contain RNA and protein, and they interact with the other parts that help to form proteins. So ribosomes do protein synthesis, okay? And their interactions take place within the endoplasmic reticulum, which is a series of membranes that are specific proteins and fats are manufactured. So the ribosomes help produce those, and then the endoplasmic reticulum finishes those areas. Your Golgi apparatus is within the protoplasm with the formation of various carbohydrate and complex protein molecules. So again, think of this as another factory-type system, along with the endoplasmic reticulum. Lysosomes, again, they have an enzyme that functions in the digestive functions of the cell. If they need to dissolve something, that's where a lysosome will come in. But peroxisomes, by the way, very similar. But again, they help neutralize toxins, and then a lot of these are found, by the way, in liver cells. You'll have a lot of peroxisomes in there. Now, your mitochondria, we're going to talk a whole lot about this, especially when we go talk about cellular respiration. This is where energy is made, adenosine triphosphate. Okay, we're going to have a lot of discussion about energy production and how oxygen and glucose is turned into energy. Okay, how we get oxygen into the cell, into that process that creates a lot of energy versus not so much energy being created without oxygen being present. All right, so your genetic material, again, is located in the nucleus. Your DNA, RNA. The RNA is usually they're contained in the nucleoli, and and again, that's used for transportation or messaging or transient, where they're transmitting the genetic code. By the way, a lot of viruses, are RNA viruses. The RNA gets into the nucleus, changes the function of the cell, again, causes you to feel horrible. Okay, your cytosol, again, is the fluid portion of the cytoplasm, and it's got all these lovely things floating around all of it. And then the site has many chemical inside these is where all your chemical reactions happen. Now let's talk about cell division real quick. Basically, the cell is constantly renewing itself, but what it usually does is divides into two separate but related processes. Mitosis is that first step, and then meiosis is only used for the sex cell division. It's a specialized function where it only creates sperm and ovum. Usually, when you divide a cell, it goes into two equal cells containing 46 chromosomes. Okay, with meiosis, it goes from 46 down to 23. Okay, so again, or they call it the haploid number. Usually it's a diploid number, but again, when you go into the meiosis, it becomes a haploid number. You don't really need to know that one too much. Your meiosis, again, is when they unite, then it forms one from the mom, one from the dad. You get those two to form a new organism, okay? Mitosis, again, this is cytokinesis. It's the division of the cell. All cells except for egg and sperm can be divided by mitosis, okay? When we are growing, there's a lot of mitosis going on. As we're dying, there's a lot of mitosis not going on, okay? So kind of, you got to remember that. And the division, again, it must be precise. It's got to split into two equal cells. I will tell you that this particular thing has actually almost won me a cruise when I was playing Whose Line Was It, or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire out in California. So again, these are the different phases. We start out with interphase, go to prophase. Metaphase, we split into an equal plane. The anaphase is when the chromosomes actually split apart, and then they reform into two separate different cells in the telophase. Okay, the final phase is interphase, when again you have those two complete different cells. All right. We just talked about all that lovely stuff there. Kind of know which the four phases is what I want you to know, not necessarily what happens in each phase. And actually, we're going to hold up here because, hey, guess what? Nice short video. But again, we're going to talk about tissues on the next rat. So I will see you guys on the next video.